Welcome to the Florida Peanut Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode of news briefings from Executive Director Laura Fowler-Goss.
Hey there, it's Laura with the Florida Peanut Federation. We are thankful that you are listening in this year. I want to share a few news, tips, and updates with you. We see that the total 2022 crop, 1,420,813 acres of peanuts was the grand total. Certainly, as expected, Georgia was the state that grew the most at 681,000 acres, followed by Alabama, about 164,000, Florida, 149,000 acres, fourth place, Texas with 124,000, rounding out the top five, North Carolina with 115,000 acres. Certainly, the large majority of those were runners, followed by 200,000 acres of Virginia peanuts, then some Spanish in Valencia, and looks like Arkansas grew 79 acres of Spanish peanuts, and there was 5 in Georgia. Kind of fun to see those statistics like that. We hope that it was a successful crop for everyone, and we are certainly thankful for the work that you all do for the industry. I will share with you out of the Peanut Farm Market News, Tyron Spearman, number 14, published January 30th, the oilseed reports updated from the USDA, National Agricultural Statistics Service. The 22-23 peanut crop is lowered by 0.2 million pounds this month to come to 5.57 billion pounds. A yield reduction for Georgia and Alabama and a reduction in harvested area for Texas account for most of the peanut output decline. The lower U.S. peanut production in 22-23, resulting from lower harvested acreage and lower peanut yield of 4,019 pounds per acre, trims the estimated total peanut supply by 203 million pounds, which is a 2.5% reduction. On expectations for lower exportable supplies, U.S. peanut exports are reduced by 100 million pounds, coming down to 1.1 billion pounds. Season-ending stocks are slightly up this month, that's the month of January 23, and forecast to remain at 2.18 billion pounds below the 21-22 carryout of 2.36 billion pounds. The season average peanut prices received by farmers and forecasted at 28 cents per pound, which is down 5 cents over the last month of last year and 15% above last year's level. Lots of updates since our report earlier in January, so that's certainly something to keep an eye on. Now let's look at the peanut supply and disappearance from the same Peanut Marketing News. We are certainly thankful for Tyron Spearman and the staff that provide these briefings to us. It looks like the 2021, 21-22, and 22-23 years are about average declining every year over the planted acres as well as the harvested acres. We see that the yield was lower and has now come up to just over 4,000 pounds. The production is about the same and the total very similar to years before. Domestic food this year, 3,381. Crush disappearance, 800. Seed and residual, 627. Exports, 1,100. With ending stocks for this year, an average between the 2 years prior, 2,180. Friends, this is your reminder that the March 15th deadline is approaching for ARC and PLC programs that provide financial protections for farmers from drops in prices or revenues. This safety net is available for most American farmers. The election and enrollment period opened last fall, and it closes on March 15th of this year. Producers can now make or change elections and enroll for ARC and PLC to protect themselves if they're eligible for market fluctuations. You can check with your FSA office for more information. I am reading a news release from farmers.gov. If you're not familiar, that's USDA's site for agricultural producers, farmers.gov. The program is entitled Rolling Out Revenue-Based Disaster and Pandemic Assistance Programs. So as of right now, agricultural producers can apply for two new important programs for revenue losses from 2020 and 2021, natural disasters, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Both programs equitably fill gaps in earlier assistance. As I read the report, you may be eligible for assistance through the Emergency Relief Program, ERP, Phase 2, if you experienced revenue losses from eligible natural disasters in 2020 and 2021. ERP Phase 2 is for producers who didn't receive assistance from the Emergency Relief Program, Phase 1. You may be eligible for Pandemic Assistance Revenue Program, PARP, if you experienced revenue losses in calendar year 2020. The Pandemic Assistance Revenue Program is addressing gaps in previous pandemic assistance, which was targeted at price loss or lack of market access rather than overall revenue losses. Applications for both of these programs are due June 2nd, so you have a little bit of time, but certainly don't delay. You can set an appointment with USDA's Farm Service Agency to learn more about the ERP and PARP programs. The article that I found was USDA's farmers.gov. Following the new programs that we've discussed available to apply through the Farm Service Agency, I would certainly like to share with you that USDA FSA is currently making automatic Coronavirus Food Assistance Program 2 top-up payments to underserved farmers and ranchers. Payments will be based on the 2020 program certification on Form CCC 860. Socially disadvantaged, limited resource, beginning or veteran farmer or rancher certification. Producers who have not previously certified their status for the 2020 year have until February 10th to submit the Form CCC 860 to be eligible for the additional payments. So that is very important. Just a few days left. February 10th is the deadline. Please reach out to your local USDA service center.
Thank you for listening to the Florida Peanut Podcast. In this episode, you heard Laura Fowler-Goss, the Executive Director of the Florida Peanut Federation, give news updates on the peanut industry in Florida.